When I think of a pitcher that knows who they are someone that knows their strengths, knows their weaknesses, and knows when and how to use them in the game. When you know who you are as a pitcher, it's going to be harder to beat you. You're going to get more strikeouts. Your ERA is going to be lower. You're going to be helping your defense because they're not going to be hitting the ball as hard. A pitcher that doesn't know who they are is going to go through the motions. You're not practicing with a purpose, and you're just being the average pitcher. Welcome to the Weekly Dose. I'm Jamie Southern, four-time All-American pitcher at Fresno State and a gold medalist at the World Championship in 2006 with Team USA. I am currently the pitching coach for Idaho State University and have been a pitching instructor for the last 18 years. And on this week's video, I really wanted to talk to you about what separates a good pitcher from a great pitcher. And that is knowing who you are as a pitcher. When I think of a pitcher that knows who they are someone that knows their strengths, knows their weaknesses, and knows when and how to use them in the game. So they can look at their rise ball and say, you know what, I'm gonna use my rise ball as a setup pitch because my curves and my drops and my change are something where I can strike out the batters, I can get ahead with these pitches, and they know how to use them. They're not trying to be someone that they aren't. They're not looking at their teammates and looking at other pitchers, trying to be them, trying to have what they are. They can be comfortable with who they are because they know their strengths and they know how to use it, and they find success. So when you know who you are, you're going to have this confidence on the mound. And part of that reason comes from the practices during the week on my own time, because I know who I am and what my strengths are and what I really need to work on for weaknesses, or maybe I drop a pitch to say, this doesn't even help me. Then I have this game plan during the game. I know how to get this girl out. I know how to get this slapper to ground out for me. It also gives your coach, who is probably calling pitches, help, right? They have a game plan to help you because we all know who you are. And it's okay. You're saying, well, if I know who I am, then the other batters know who I am and what I throw. But if your pitches are that great, it doesn't matter. You can say, I'm going to throw you a curveball right here. And if it's that good, they're still going to be unsuccessful with it. So don't think oh, I'm so predictable. You're not. You're using your strengths and you're going after the batter's weaknesses or their strengths with your best stuff. And that just fires me up right there. Try to hit my pitch. Knowing who you are as a pitcher allows you to use your strengths, your best pitches, and get more depth to them. So what that looks like is if I threw a lot of screwballs, I didn't just continue to throw my screwballs here. Now I'm going to start to throw my screwballs here and get a little height to them, right? There's depth. In the count, they may call a screwball, but I know it's a 1-2 count or a 2-2 count and this girl's aggressive. I'm going to throw a high screwball because I have depth to my best pitches and I know how to use them. And ultimately, when you know who you are as a pitcher, it's going to be harder to beat you. You're going to get more strikeouts. Your ERA is going to be lower. You're going to be helping your defense because they're not going to be hitting the ball as hard. So you ultimately are going to help your team win more ball games. So let's talk about the pitchers that might not know who they are yet and the problems and the disadvantages of that. And it's okay if that's where you are now. I would say that probably by my junior year in high school, I was really starting to go deeper into who I was and was able to find out how I can better my best pitches and use them to my advantage in the front part of my at-bat and the closure to get those strikeouts. So you may not be there yet, and that's okay. But let's just talk about the disadvantage to it. A pitcher that doesn't know who they are is going to go through the motions. And what I mean by that is they're just kind of like going along their little pitching journey, and their pitching coach is teaching them new pitches, and their coach in the game is calling their pitches of where they need to throw it. And during their week, they're just practicing all their pitches. They're warming them up and going through the motions, right? You're not practicing with a purpose, and you're just being the average pitcher. I did that. I remember with my dad going out and pitching all my pitches to warm him up, and then we would do some batters, and then we would be done, right? If there was a pitch that I was struggling with, we kind of stuck with it a little bit longer, but there was not a full purpose in my workouts with my dad. And that has to change, right? So when I got to college, the workouts were a little bit more intense. They were more, they had more purpose. They had a reason to why we were practicing it. I don't want you guys to have to wait until you get to college to get that. You should be able to do that now. But until you know who you are, you won't be able to. I've heard pitchers say, well, I just throw it to the glove. I'm just going through the motions. My coach calls a curveball. I throw it on that corner right to the glove. That's basic. That's not knowing like, hey, my curveball's my best pitch. Like they shouldn't even be able to touch this. And I'm going to throw it here. I might even tail it up a little bit because she kind of dips in her swing, right? You have to know that. Another disadvantage of not knowing who you are is pitchers want to continue to learn new pitches. Right? That's the cool thing out there to do, is to say, I have 6 pitches and they're all average. Some of them don't even have correct spin, so it's just really an ugly looking fastball, right? It's not even breaking or drifting over there. Have you ever heard of a pitcher that told their pitching coach, please don't teach me another pitch. I really want to get these pitches so much better. I want these pitches to be great. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, and it should, but pitchers want to continue to just get more. And we have to get what we do have already that's like has potential, and we have to get it better. So if I don't believe in my rise ball in a game, why do I really want to practice that to get it great? But when you know who you are because you find some success in it, you're like, wow, this is who I am. I'm a rise ball pitcher. And now I want to get it better and I want to grow. So think about that, right? Pitchers that don't know yet, they just want more because they're just searching. Make me great. Maybe this pitch will make me great. Guys, it's quality over quantity. And you've seen that in the World Series. The pitchers there, they have like 2, maybe 3 great pitches. And one of them has to be a changeup, right? I mean, it has to at least just be a good changeup where it kind of holds the batters off. But we're not seeing these pitchers go completely all over. And the batters, they've scouted them. They know what is coming, but they're that great that they still struggle to hit. The last problem, if you don't know who you are, is that when you're on that mound and you're pitching, you're almost just hoping, please don't hit it hard. Please, just please, right? You're hoping that you get a strikeout. And there's a difference of being like offensive and like being on there and being gritty, like I'm coming at you because I'm confident. And the pitcher that's just saying, okay, I'm going to throw it right here. I'm going to throw it right to the glove. I hope she doesn't hit it. You're not going to be successful with that. And you're not helping your team. And it's not fun, right? So now let's talk about what you can do to help find out who you are. We've heard the benefits of knowing who you are as a pitcher, and we've heard the disadvantages. And so I want to give you guys some homework. I want you to be able to look yourself in the mirror. It can be physically, or you can just sit at your desk in your room. And I want you to truly rank your pitches. I want you to sit down and say, this is my best pitch, and give it a reason. I want you to write out the reason. So I would have said, my screwball is my best pitch because it is my most consistent. I can throw it at their knee level. I can throw it higher. I can throw it a high screwball. I have so much control, and the break is phenomenal that the most they can do is foul it off or they get jammed if they don't swing and miss under it, right? So that's my number 1 pitch. My second pitch would be my changeup. I could throw it in any count. I sell it where the batter doesn't even know it's coming. I can throw it for a called strike, but most often I throw it intentionally as a ball to get them to swing and miss. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm ranking my pitches and giving the reason why. Now, that's the easy part, right? And you may be able, I want you to try to do it yourself, and I encourage that. But I know sometimes then you can take it to your parents to let them have some input. But I want to know what's in your mind, and you should too. I want you to then go to your coach of your travel ball team and ask them the same. If you could quickly text them, if you could quickly just rank my pitches, what you think the best are. I'm just trying to kind of figure out who I am as a pitcher. Go to your pitching coach. Ask the same thing. Ask your catcher. If you're more advanced and you're at a higher level, your catchers are smart and they know what works and what doesn't work. After you get that information, I want you guys to get all the feedback and then come up with a plan that helps you be more successful and helps your team win ball games. I want you to then go over it again and say, gosh, I thought this was my best pitch, but both of them think this is. And then you're going to start to understand who you are as a pitcher because you're going to know what helps you and what hurts you. Your last pitch that you say would probably be, my 5th or 6th pitch if you have all the pitches. This is my worst pitch because it doesn't have the right spin. I just throw my rise ball high. It doesn't even break. Okay, but now I know my best and I know my weakness. And what that's going to do, you're going to give it to your coach who calls pitches, or your catcher, and you're going to say, this is what I want to do. This is who I am. And I have most confidence in these to get ahead and these to strike them out. I encourage you to do that. It's not going to be easy. Sometimes it's hard to hear the truth, right? And it's hard to be able to look at myself and say, I'm not really good at that. We want to be great, but we have to be able to look at ourselves to see the growth, okay? On Wednesday evening, we will be having a live session on Facebook, and this will be a time to ask any questions, and it'll be a place where I will grab an example from a pitcher to be able to kind of analyze it and give you some thoughts on maybe how to look at your results and your plan and how you can best use it. So if you have any questions from today until Wednesday evening, please just message me and we will be able to go over anything, and I will give you guys an example of what that looks like if you're still looking for ways to be able to help your daughter, and for your daughter to be able to say, okay, I can do this. These are the steps that I need. Also, tomorrow on Tuesday, we will be giving out a workout of the week. Now, I just talked previously about how my workouts with my dad growing up in the middle parts of my journey were not very purposeful. Like I didn't have a quality workout that I should have been having. So to prevent that, for all you pitchers out there, we're going to be giving out workouts that give you a little bit more purpose. And it'll be different for everybody. We have all different levels of pitchers out there. And so we will break it down as a beginner and an advanced, and you may have to just tweak your own to make it work with you. And where you're at, but this is going to be awesome. So every Tuesday, you guys can see the workout, in hopes that you guys have a few days to get out there with your catchers and your parents and get better and not go through the motions. Thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Wednesday and then for your next weekly dose next week.